So, good morning, my Wake Forest Baptist Church family, and Happy New Year. And because it is the start of a new year, I'm going to do this coming Sunday what I do every second Sunday of the year, and that is to preach my annual State of the Church address. Uniquely and more than even than usual. I really hope you will be participating in that. I especially hope you'll be in the room. We need your presence. But if not, to at least watch it online, to be available to as I talk about where we've been and where we're going as a church. And in that same spirit, at the beginning of a new year, a lot of you probably towards the end of the year or at the start of the year get your annual physical. I want to invite you to consider your annual spiritual. So Dr. Bill is talking to you and doing a checkup with you right now. And I think some words in Colossians, the first chapters, particularly speak to me about what it is to be a healthy, alive, full of joy Christian. Listen to these words, Colossians 1, verses 9 through 12. And it's interesting in my Bible, this old Bible of mine, I have down written in words at the bottom. These are the words that my parents put in a frame and sent to me when I went off to college. Here you are. Paul writes, and so from the day we heard of it, we have not ceased to pray for you, asking that you might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom and understanding, to live a life worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God. May you be strengthened with all power, according to his glorious might, for all endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. So maybe a 4 quarters, put a box around your life and see how you do with each of these. In verse 9, I hear him talking about nutrition. What are you putting inside yourself? Are you bombarding yourself with cable TV? Are you poisoning yourself with the news sometimes? Or are you finding space each day to just be still for a moment? How important that is. And then allow to come into your life through prayer, through Bible study, through daily, weekly worship of God, that something new spirit comes in because you have made space for it. So what is the nutritional value in your life these days? The second one, verse 11, speaks to joy. I think that's our surprising secret as Christians, that we, despite all circumstances up and down and the circumstances that are certainly in our world today, that there's something deeper within us because of that nutrition that we first allowed to happen. Something comes out of us that's joy. Jesus said, I have come that you might have joy and might have it abundantly. I love the quote, Mahalia Jackson, the wonderful black gospel singer. Remember those words she sang, why should I be discouraged? Why should the shadows fall? And why should my heart feel lonely? And I dream of a heaven I know. When Jesus is my portal and constant friend is he, his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. That's where our joy comes from. And number 3 is about change. Yeah, you're at the start of a new year. Are you any different than a year ago? Are you going to be any different a year from now? C.S. Lewis says we always are becoming more or less Christians. If God has removed more from your life, God didn't move, you moved. What will you do to change, to continue to grow? I'm an old guy now. There should be some things different about me than when I was just a kid, or even when I was in my 20s or 30s. And I hope when I'm 99 years old, I'm still changing and still growing, because that's the healthy spiritual life. And finally, the one that I think is the big one is to be thankful. Paul talks about that. Gratitude just is the attitude that can change everything. I can sit here this morning and moan and groan. Things aren't what we always want them to be. Or I can sit here and say, consider all my benefits, all the benefits that God has given me. And so which do I choose? And which is going to make me a healthier and fuller life? To be grateful for all the benefits that God has given us. Here we are. We made it through this past year, and we're going to be making it through the new year as well. So the African tribe, they have a curse that they would place on people they didn't like. They say, may you stay in one place forever. That's the curse of the Christian life sometimes, that we have gotten to a point where we just stay where we are. I think that's good enough and miss all that can happen if we grow. So Dr. Bill invites you. Check it out. How are you doing? Nutrition, change, joy, gratitude. How are you doing with that? May this year be the year of health for you, for our church, and for God's kingdom. Thanks be to God.